They are very upset. The one mother told me that her child was literally within 2 to 3 feet of the actual shooter, and now she's wondering what kind of effects this is going to have. One woman said that they're just going to have to do a lot of praying here in this community.
All right, Carrie, well, obviously a lot of parents are still in shock, and maybe they didn't have time to bring this question up, but I'm sure there's going to be a question about security in the Red Lion School District. I'm sure a question on the minds of a lot of parents is, how was this boy able to bring this gun and, as the police said, other weapons to school in the first place? And as I understand it, there are no metal detectors in these schools.
Well, that's right, and that question has yet to even come up at this point. Parents were very shaken this morning, a lot of them crying. Now, we see some action going on behind us. It looks like this may be the start to the news conference. We're going to go right to the podium.
We got everybody here? Okay. Everybody hear me? My name is Walt Hughes. I'm the Chief of Police of Red Lion Borough. Walt, W-A-L-T, last name Hughes, H-U-G-H-E-S. With me is the York County Coroner, Mr. Blouse, the Red Lion Area School District Superintendent, Dr. Macaluso, and Police Chief Gross from the York Area Regional Police. We'll try to take some of your questions. I'll just fill you in, and there will be a printed news release we're preparing now that you'll be able to get. What occurred today, this morning, at 7:34 this morning, the police department, 911, was notified of a shooting in the cafeteria of the junior high school. Police responded and entered the building within 4 minutes. At that time, we had 2 victims. The principal of the junior high school, Dr. Segro, was shot by a student, male student, 14 years old. We will not release, as a policy of the police department, the student's name. I'm told that Dr. Segro was pronounced dead at the York Hospital. There was one shooter, the 14-year-old, armed with a handgun, several handguns, and at some point, we believe at this time, inflicted a self-fatal wound to himself. No other students were injured. No one else was hurt. The school was evacuated immediately. I'm told by 10 o'clock, the area high school, junior high school, and the Eggermore school was dismissed at 10 o'clock. Forensic teams of the York Area Police, Pennsylvania State Police, along with the York Area Regional Police and Red Lion Police, are on the scene continuing its investigation at this particular time. Obviously, there's a lot of interviews to be done, and there's a lot more questioning so we can get some answers to facts which we do not have at this time. We just want to bring you up to date on what is taking place. Do you have any questions?
How many handguns?
Let me provide some information before we get into that.
Could you spell your name?
M-A-C-A-L-U-S-O, Larry.
To the middle of the mic.
Larry Macaluso, Superintendent. The school district is grieving the loss of our beloved junior high school principal, Dr. Segro, and the student involved. However, we will continue to make plans to deal with the rest of our students, our staff, and our parents to have them work through this. At 1 o'clock today, we will have counseling sessions available for all of our junior high school students and their parents, beginning at 1 o'clock in the auditorium of the senior high school. This evening, we will hold an information meeting at 7 p.m. at our at the senior high school in the auditorium, again, for all parents of the junior high school. This will not be open to the press. However, we'd be happy to speak with the press after those meetings. The junior high school will be closed tomorrow. The senior high school and all elementary schools will be open as planned for tomorrow.
As part of our investigation, Barry Blouse, York County Coroner. Of course, we're investigating 2 deaths, the death of the 14-year-old at the school and the death of the doctor at the York Hospital. We will be performing autopsies today, starting in about 2 hours, and at that time we will determine exact cause of death and manner of death.
Where was
the bodies found?
One is in the cafeteria at the school, and the other one was transported to York Hospital, where he died at the school or at the hospital.
The young man, how did he die? How was he shot, or did he shoot himself?
That investigation is still going on, and we will not reveal or make known until we know exactly how many gunshots each victim has suffered, and that will be determined after the autopsy is completed.
Was there any history of animosity here to discipline? Was the boy disciplined by the principal?
We are not aware of any of that, no.
Do you know where he got the handgun from?
I don't have that information.
Chief, have we gotten any sense about...
We're looking into that. We believe we know, but before I answer that, I want to be absolutely sure when we get the records back. So I really can't comment on it, but the police are aware of it, and we're looking at that right now.
Chief, would this lead to charges against anyone else?
We will have to confer with the York County District Attorney's Office. At this time, probably not.
Chief, was there any indication what the principal was doing? Was he trying to stop something from happening when he was shot, or do you know anything about the circumstances surrounding that specific incident?
What we're led to believe at this time is the principal routinely is in the cafeteria in the morning when the students arrive from school, and that's all that he was doing was what he usually does every single day.
Was he acting to stop?
There was nothing to, at this point, that we know that there's any provocation, that there's any altercation, nothing of that nature as of right now that we know of.
Is anybody aware of any emotional difficulties that the young man was having?
We don't know that.
Do we know if
Did
any
he
other
say
students
anything
were in
before?
on this or heard about it? Or
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
was there any foreboding from other students? Had he said anything? Was anyone at all aware? Have you heard if any other kids were aware of the plan?
No, we don't know that.
What kind of weapons, how many did you have?
What was said between the two?
We don't have that information yet.
How many students were in the cafeteria at the time? Was it mostly the entire student body, or just, you don't know?
I don't have a number, but it's quite a few.
Chief, we understand there might not have been...
I'm sorry, one at a time.
Talk about school security. I mean, I heard earlier you guys said the security comes after students are in class.
I want to refer it to.
Yes, that's correct. We have, our schools are locked when students are in the building in the morning, and anyone entering the building must be identified and then report to the office.
So no security checking like bags, checking...
We have not had any security checks of students up until this time.
Are there metal detectors, sir, and is there a school security officer at the school?
We have a school resource officer within our school district, yes.
No metal detectors?
No metal detectors, no.
Will that change?
That's too early to tell. We'll certainly be investigating all of our security systems and determine that.
Do you have any biographical information on the principal that you can share with us?
Dr. Segro was an assistant principal at our junior high school beginning in 88, 89. He had been an assistant principal for 8 years and recently now principal for 7 years. His last name is spelled S-E-G-R-O.
Sounds like he was well liked by his students. Probably a lot of contact.
Absolutely.
How about
How long
family?
had
Does
the
he have
student-
family?
He does.
How long the student attended?
I don't have that information. I don't have that information.
How many handguns did he have and what kind were they? Were they automatic weapons of any kind?
All I can tell you, they were handguns, they were not automatics, and there was more than one.
Any other types of weapons, sir?
No, that is all that there were.
Did he have them in a bag and his coat where?
It appears that they were brought in his book bag.
Have you had a chance to talk to the parents, and if so, have they been helpful to you?
Yes and yes.
What is their status now? Are they at home? And
I don't know where they're at now. They left earlier after being interviewed.
Do we know whose guns they were?
We're checking that out. We're pretty sure we know, but I don't want to answer that because I don't have for sure in my hands. I'm sorry, what was over here?
Was he from Red Lion or?
He's from the area. The student?
Yeah.
Yes.
And how about the principal?
I'm not sure if I know. I believe Dr. Segro is from the area also.
Was the principal the intended target?
We don't know that.
So it may have been he just was caught trying to save another student, or you don't know if he was...
There was no, to our knowledge right now, there was nothing going on when the incident went down. Whether or not he was a target or part of a plot or a plan, there's no information to support that.
You have no indication that anyone else may have been targeted.
We're still looking into that.
Can you tell us whether he was with other students at the time, or was he by himself?
He was in the cafeteria, and the cafeteria was crowded with students.
But was he with a group of other students at the time?
There were other students
There was other students there. If you mean, did he come in with a... We don't know. We don't believe that's the case.
What did those other students say they saw? They just walked up to the principal and shot him?
We don't have those interviews in yet.
But you're saying you believe he acted alone?
Yes.
I think that ought to do it.
Okay. All right, we're going to have a, as much as we can, as soon as it gets here, printed form for everybody to be handed out. Other than that, you can just refer your questions to our police headquarters, 717-244-2475. Thank you.
Have any more updates today?
Dr. Macaluso,
No.
The cafeteria is crowded with kids.
You were watching and listening a live news conference from Red Lion, York County, with Walter Hughes, the chief of the Red Lion Police Department, Dr. Larry Macaluso, the superintendent of the Red Lion School District, and Barry Bloss, the York County coroner, commenting on this morning's shootings at the Red Lion Junior High School. To recap what they said, 2 people are dead. The principal, Dr. Eugene Segro, and his alleged shooter, a 14-year-old boy, a student, an 8th grade student at the junior high school. And what began as a routine morning at the Red Lion Junior High School turned violent in the crowded cafeteria. Police say the student, the 14-year-old boy, opened fire with a handgun. The bullet struck Dr. Segro. Dr. Segro was taken to York Hospital where he was pronounced dead, and then the 14-year-old boy apparently turned the gun on himself, taking his own life. Joining us is News 8's Lori Burkholder. Lori?
And of course, Dick, we have the information here, of course, confirmed that Dr. Gene Segro has died in this incident. We also know that the 14-year-old individual that was involved in this, the alleged triggerman that took his own life, was a 8th grade student. A lot of the students here describe him as a loner, someone who was a member of the football team. And of course, a lot of people are very sad that Dr. Gene Segro has passed away. We do have the superintendent here with us that can chat with us. Hi, Dr. Chip. So tell me, a lot of people have questions and concerns about the security of the school and how this youth was able to get a handgun into the school. Can you address that?
Well, we have security for students after they're all entered into the building, whereby people must be buzzed into the school after identifying themselves, but we don't and have not done that with security for students when they're entering in the morning. But let me share with you the purpose of the interview, and that was to share the times that we have for parents and students. Parents and students of the junior high are invited for counseling sessions today at 1 o'clock, beginning in the auditorium at the senior high school. And then in addition to that, parents are invited to an information meeting, again, parents of junior high school students, an information meeting this evening at 7 p.m. in the auditorium of the senior high school as well. And the junior high school, of course, will be closed tomorrow, but all other schools in the district will be open.
Okay, and the students themselves are getting some counseling as well?
Oh, absolutely. We will provide whatever it takes to work through this horrific event with all of our students and our staff.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us. And of course, you heard there's going to be counseling sessions available to the students, and at 1 o'clock this afternoon, that is going to be an open session for the students and parents at 7 o'clock this evening. Of course, we're going to continue to cover here the situation and bring you much more information coming up at noon.
Lori, I had a question. Is Dr. Macaluso still available, or did he, is he still within reach?
No, Dick, he's now involved in some other interviews at the moment.
Okay, well, perhaps you can ask him this question then. Do all the students, when they arrive and leave the school, enter through one door and leave through the same door, or there are numerous doors that the students can enter? In other words, when they arrive in the morning, do they all pass through the same door and all the other doors are locked? I was wondering if that was part of the security. And perhaps you can
Yeah,
add.
I don't know the answer. I'll ask him that question later, but I do know that the way the security system works, apparently once the students all get into the school, that's when the doors are locked, and they have a buzzing system for people to enter the building. But again, that buzzing system is not activated until the students are all into the building. But again, you're right, I'm not sure how many doors were open to the students at the time when school started this morning.
And you don't know if they have any random checks on the students' book bags and other items that they may be bringing with them.
As far as I know, they have no metal detectors. That was mentioned in the press conference. As far as other security measures, they do take them very seriously. But again, this youth did get guns, and we heard there's more than one gun involved in this incident into this school. So those are questions we still need to.
Well, I know that they have no metal detectors. I heard Dr. Macaluso say that, but I was wondering if they had anybody standing at the door when the students enter the school to randomly check book bags to see if they're bringing something to school they shouldn't be bringing to school.
Yeah, I do know that they have an officer who is here, a resource officer that's usually here at the schools to watch students coming and going. But as far as checks and if each individual bag is checked, I'm not sure that that is done at this school. They have never had a problem of this nature in this school district.
All right, thank you, Lori. News 8's Lori Burkholder, and Lori will be rejoining us with updates on this story on News 8 at noon. We now have some information for you to pass on concerning meetings that will be held this evening in the Red Lion community. This afternoon and this evening, a counseling session will be held at the senior high school. This is for the students and parents, junior high school students and their parents. That will be at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Again, that is at the senior high school. And then this evening, a information meeting will be held for the parents of the junior high school students. That too will be held at the senior high school, and it will be held at 7 o'clock this evening. This has been a News 8 special report. I'm Dick Hawksworth. We will be back with more on this morning's shooting at the Red Lion Junior High School on News 8 at noon. Good morning.
News conference on the shooting wrapped up just a few moments ago.
There was one shooter, a 14-year-old, armed with a handgun, several handguns. And at some point, we believe at this time, inflict fired.
Our top story on News 8 at noon, what began as a routine day at Red Lion Junior High School in York County erupted in violence as gunfire rang out in the school's crowded cafeteria. When the shooting stopped, the school's principal was mortally wounded and a 14-year-old boy was dead. Police say the boy, an 8th grade student, shot the principal and apparently took his own life. I'm Dick Hawksworth.
And I'm Lori Burkholder, live at the scene here in Red Lion, where we just wrapped up a press conference just moments ago. Dick, here's what we know. This incident happened in the cafeteria shortly after 7:30 this morning. This is an area, we are told, where students congregate before they go to their home rooms. Now, buses were coming in, students were coming in. This incident involved several, actually, police said they found several handguns, none of them automatics. One was involved in this incident where a 14-year-old, police say, an 8th grader at this junior school used this handgun to shoot the principal and then turned the gun on himself. We do know that this individual is an 8th grader and a member of the football team and a rather quiet individual, and there is no known motive for this at this time. No prior problems that police say have that they know about between the student and the principal, and whether or not the principal was the target in all of this. Now, the schools went into a lockdown immediately. Students were evacuated. The press conference held just moments ago, police told us that they have received a 911 call shortly after 7:34.
We had 2 victims. The principal of the junior high school, Dr. Segro, was shot by a student, male student, 14 years old. We will not release, as a policy of the police department, the student's name. I'm told that Dr. Segro was pronounced dead at the York Hospital. There was one shooter, the 14-year-old, armed with a handgun, several handguns. And at some point, we believe at this time, inflicted a self-fatal wound to himself. No other students were injured. No one else was hurt. The school was evacuated immediately. I'm told by 10 o'clock, the area high school, junior high school, and the Edgar School was dismissed at 10 o'clock. Forensic teams of the York Area Police, Pennsylvania State Police, along with the York Area Regional Police and Red Lion Police are on the scene continuing its investigation.
Now, police did not comment on how many handguns they found. They did say that these handguns were brought in by way of a book bag. And we do know that the students enter through the main doors in the front. There is a police officer of some sort, an information officer that is usually on school grounds when the children do arrive here at school. The school board has basically, the superintendent told us that they are looking into their security measures and reevaluating those. Once the students get into the schools, that's where the doors are locked, and they have a buzzing mechanism where if you need to get into the school to get a student or come in for any business, you have to buzz and of course go through that process to get in the building. But of course this has all happened at the very beginning of the school day, a very chaotic day, a very tragic day. A lot of people are very upset, very shocked, and as you all are aware, these students of course are going to be getting lots of counseling as well as their parents and getting lots of information. For more on that story, we're going to go to Carrie Fairchild. Carrie.
Well, Lori, many of the students were on their way into school when they heard the gunshots. Others were actually inside the cafeteria just feet away when this terrifying ordeal unfolded.
All of a sudden, we heard a gunshot. Well, first we heard screaming, and we looked over, I saw the gun, and then we heard a gunshot, and Dr. Segro was on the floor. And then we started running.
Students in shock after a very violent morning inside their school. Many of them clung to their parents as they were picked up. One parent tells me her daughter is numb, understandably so. Many of these young kids saw their principal shot, then started running out of fear that they too would be targeted. Parents rushed to the school not knowing what to expect. We saw a lot of tears and a lot of hugs. Students tell me they keep reliving in their minds what they saw this morning.
I heard this loud bang, and I looked at the principal. He was laying on the ground with his hands on his chest, and James was just standing there with a gun. So everybody ran out, and when I was running, I heard another gunshot, and people saying that he killed himself.
Terrifying. I had to wait for an hour before I got word that he was okay.
Now, many of the parents broke down in tears as they were reunited with their children. A lot of them found out through cell phone calls and through the community. Many of them were at work and heard that there was a school shooting. They rushed down here, as I said, not knowing whether their children were involved or not. Then they had to wait and be reunited with their kids. Once they were, we were there, and it was very emotional. A lot of these parents now wondering what they're going to tell their children, especially those who actually witnessed this. Now, the school is trying to make it a little easier for parents and students. They're going to have a counseling session at 1 o'clock today in the senior high school auditorium. Then at 7 o'clock tonight in that same place, they're going to have an informational meeting that will be open to parents and students trying to help answer any questions. Now, we're told that Dr. Segro was with this district for 15 years, that he was very popular. The students obviously taking this news very hard. They say that he was well loved and that they didn't know of any problems between the student and the principal. So at this point, we're just waiting to see what happens with us all, and a lot of counseling, a lot of talking will be had in this community this afternoon. That's the latest from here. Dick, back to you.
All right, Carrie, thank you. We now go to York Hospital and News 8's Ed Weinstock. Ed, what can you tell us from there?
Well, as you know, Dick, throughout the morning, York Hospital would only say this was a coroner's case. They would not confirm that Dr. Segro had died from his injuries, but sadly, as of this hour, that news is now official. Dr. Eugene Segro was brought to York Hospital in critical condition after the shooting incident this morning in Red Lion, but he apparently died from his injuries in the York Hospital emergency room. We don't know what time his death occurred or the extent of his injuries, but once again, Dr. Segro did not survive the shooting. He is being remembered by friends and colleagues. Sherry Kuhn of Red Lion called him a very good man. She said he was very good with kids. Her husband is a teacher in the high school in the district, and she also referred to him as a very proficient principal, a good-hearted man, and we're learning a little bit more about Dr. Segro. We've been told that he is married, that he has 2 college-age children, so a very sad story here today at York Hospital. That's the very latest from here. Back to you.
All right, Ed, thank you. York County churches are opening their doors for people of the Red Lion community who may be seeking spiritual guidance. Prayer service will be held at 1 o'clock this afternoon at the Crossroads United Methodist Church. That's at 6881 Church Road in Crossroads. At 7 o'clock this evening, a prayer service will be held at Cornerstone Community Church at 109 Pond Road in Felton. Both services are open to the public. Also, the Pleasant View Church of the Brethren on Route 24 in Winterstown will open its doors and offer counseling between 4 o'clock this afternoon and 8 o'clock this evening. This is not the first incident of violence in the Red Lion School District. On February 2nd, 2001, 55-year-old William Stankiewicz entered the North Hopewell Winterstown Elementary School and attacked 10 students, 2 teachers, and the principal with a machete. The principal was the most seriously wounded. She has since recovered. Stankiewicz was convicted and sentenced to 132 to 264 years in prison. News 8's coverage of the shootings at Red Lion Junior High School will continue after this.
On the next Access Hollywood, Kelly Clarkson versus Madonna. It's the battle of the real American Idol. Then meet the other Dr. Evil.